Welcome to mini lesson number 1 for week 3. We are going to be talking today about probability with and without replacement. So lesson 1 will have to do with replacement, and lesson 2 will be without replacement. And we'll get into what exactly that means in the upcoming slides. Okay, so lesson 1 is probability with replacement. The objective for today, for this mini lesson, is students will be able to determine the probability of events with replacement in writing on their notes and on Independent Practice 1 in Schoology. Some important vocabulary for you to know is event. That's when we say something is happening, that is an event. An outcome is what we are looking for to happen. Replace means to put something back, and replacement is just another version of replace, which means to put something back. Okay, before we begin, make sure that you have a piece of paper and a pen or pencil so that you are taking notes with me and doing some of the problems on your own to see if you really understand before you go to the independent practice. So pause me here. Get out your pencil, get out your paper, and when you're ready to go, hit play. Okay, question 1. This one I'm going to do, and the next one you are going to do. So I'm going to do this one, but I expect you to be writing on your paper with me so that you have some resources to look at when you do the next problem. So let's dive right in. A student is asked to pick 2 marbles out of the bag below. Okay, so we have this bag right here, and it's got a bunch of marbles in it. The first thing I see is it's got some green marbles, some blue marbles, some red marbles, and a yellow marble. Okay, so picking 2 marbles out of the bag. So a student picks 1 green marble from the bag. Okay, so we pick out a green marble. So this marble right here gets picked out of the bag. Okay. Then the student replaces the green marble back into the bag. So student picks it out of the bag. That marble, after the student picks it out, goes back into the bag. So we have the same number of marbles as when we started this problem. Okay. The student then picks a second marble from the bag. What is the probability that the student picks yellow on the second pick? Okay, so what is the probability the student picks yellow on the second pick? Okay, so we know that probability is all about how many things could happen and how many things are we looking for to happen. Okay, so on the second pick, we first need to determine how many marbles are in the bag. So we took one out, but we replaced it, meaning we put it back in. Okay, so we are going to include this green marble. Even though we picked it out, we put it back in before we picked the second marble. So let's count those marbles. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there are 10 marbles in this bag. All right, what is the probability that we will pick a yellow? Well, how many yellows do we have? There is only 1 yellow marble. So the probability of picking a yellow on the second pick when we replace the green marble that we picked first is 1 out of 10. All right, let's move on to the you-do. So for this problem, it is very similar. I want you to pause me here, try this problem on your own, and when you're ready, click play, and I will walk you through, and you can check your answer. All right. This question says, a student is asked to pick 2 marbles out of the bag. The student picks 1 blue marble. Okay, student picks 1 blue marble from the bag. Then the student replaces the blue marble. So blue marble comes out in the first pick, but then it goes right back in the second pick, before the second pick. So we have the same amount of marbles for the second pick as we did for the first pick, right? The student then picks a second marble from the bag. What is the probability that the student picks green on the second pick? All right, so just like last problem, we're going to want to figure out how many marbles are in the bag for the second pick. Okay, remember this blue one came out, but we replaced it, meaning we put it back into the bag before the second pick. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 marbles. There are 10 different marbles that I could choose. We want to know what the probability of picking a green marble is. So we are going to count how many greens are there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are 4 green marbles. So the probability of picking a green on the second pick is 4 out of 10. All right, let's up the rigor a little bit and move on to something a little bit more challenging. All right, same thing. I'm going to do this problem, and you are going to try the next problem. All right, Mr. Morty is asked to pick 2 marbles out of the bag below. So we have the same bag, we're picking 2 marbles. Mr. Morty picks 1 marble from the bag. He then replaces the marble back into the bag. That's very important. So if I choose, I pick 1 out, I put it back in. So for the second pick, I have the same amount of marbles to choose from. All right, Mr. Morty then picks a second marble from the bag. All right, so I'm picking 1, putting it back in, and then picking the second one. What is the probability that Mr. Morty first picked a green, and then picked a blue? Okay, so this is kind of combining what we just learned with replacement and what we learned last week. So we want to know what the probability of both of these things are. So we're going to find the probability of a green, and then a probability of a blue, and then we're going to multiply them to figure out what are the chances that both of those happen. All right, so let's start with our first pick. Right away, what's the probability that we get a green? Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 marbles. Let's label this. This is our green probability. Okay. And so we just said the probability, we had 10 total marbles to choose from, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 green marbles. So the probability of first picking a green is 4 out of 10. So I pick the first marble, but then it says up here that I replace the marble. So that means I take it out, so there are only 9 in the bag, but then I put it back in, so now I have 10 in the bag again. So then I want to try to pick a blue marble. So we're going to try to find the probability of a blue. Okay, so pick a marble out, put it back in. That means I still have 10 marbles in the bag. Okay, still have 10 marbles in the bag. And I have 1, 2 blue marbles. So the probability of picking a blue is 2 out of 10. Now, I want to know the probability of both of these things happening. So I'm going to multiply these two. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 10 times 10 is 100. So the probability that I pick a green, put it back in, and then pick a blue is 8 out of 100. Okay, pause me here. Try this problem on your own, and when you're ready to check your work, go ahead and press play. Okay, Miss Winger is asked to pick 2 marbles out of the bag. She picks 1 marble from the bag. She then replaces the marble back into the bag. So we have with replacement here. Okay, so that means for my second pick, I will still have the same amount of marbles. Miss Winger then picks a second marble from the bag. Okay, what is the probability that she first picks a red, and then picks a yellow? Okay, so same thing as the last problem. We are going to first find the probability of picking a red, then the probability of picking a yellow, and the probability of both of them happening together is the product of those two when we multiply them. So let's start with our red. So first of all, just to check here, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 marbles. So we are first going to find the probability of red. And we know that we have 10 marbles to choose from, and there are 1, 2, 3 red marbles. So chances of picking a red, 3 out of 10. Okay, then we want to pick a yellow after we take out a red and then put it back in. Okay, so before our second pick, we have put back our first marble. So we still have 10 marbles in the bag. Right? And for yellow, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 marbles still because we put the first one back in. And there is only 1 yellow. So the probability of picking a yellow is 1 out of 10. The probability of getting both of these is the product when we multiply. 3 times 1 is 3, and 10 times 10 is 100. So the probability of picking a red and then putting it back in and then picking a yellow is 3 out of 100. Okay, go on to your independent practice. If you get stuck, watch this video again or send me a Schoology message.